Okay, 10.1 to 10.3 practice quiz. Alright, the first thing we have here is we have find cosine of S. So we have our saying, Sally could tell Oscar had a hat on always. So first thing you have is cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So since this is the angle S, adjacent means that it shares it, so that's my adjacent. Your hypotenuse is the one straight across from your right angle. So that means it's 3 over the square root of 11. You can't have the square root of 11 on the bottom, so you must times the bottom and top by the square root of 11. So you get 3 square roots of 11 over this. What is 11 times 11? 121. So you have the square root of 121. Well, what is the square root of 121? 11. So that means you have 3 square roots of 11 over 11. Then it says complete with cosine, sine, or tangent. So we have 3, and we're looking at angle E. So what is 3 to E? That is opposite. So that means we have opposite, and we have adjacent. This 7 is adjacent to it. Opposite is straight across, adjacent is sharing. So that 7 is your adjacent. So we have opposite and adjacent is tangent. It says find the value of cosine theta squared plus sine theta squared. Well, the theorem that you have to know is cosine of any angle, and you square it, plus sine of any angle and square it. That always is 1. So we have here, as long as they're the same, it always equals 1. So since they're both s's, it's 1. Alright, find the exact value. So the first thing we have to do is we have to have our 60-30 triangle, and across from the 30 is your 1, adjacent to the 30 is the square root of 3, hypotenuse is 2. So now we have the tangent, which is opposite. So opposite of your 60 is the square root of 3 over adjacent. Adjacent to 60 is 1. So square root of 3 over 1 is simply the square root of 3. Cosine of 45. So that means I have to have my 45 triangle. So my 45 is 1 square root of 2. So cosine is adjacent. So I choose one of the 45s, and adjacent is 1 over the hypotenuse, square root of 2. So I have 1 over square root of 2. But I can't have the square root of 2 on the bottom, so what do I have to do? Right, I have to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 2. Because square root of 2 over square root of 2 is 1, so that's why I can do it. 1 times the square root of 2 is square root of 2 over 2 times 2 is 4, so we have the square root of 4. The square root of 4 is 2, so you have square root of 2 over 2. When you have sine and cosine on opposite, remember that those angles have to add up to 90. So 33 and what gives me 90? So you literally just take your calculator and go your 90 minus the 33 to give you 57. So 57 degrees. So cosine 33, if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get the same answer as if you put sine of 57. You're going to get the same value. Number 7, you have here, what angle do I have? I have my hypotenuse, because it's across from my right angle. I have this one, which is adjacent, because it's adjacent to it. So I have adjacent and hypotenuse. So I come up here to my trig functions, and I have adjacent and hypotenuse. So I have cosine. So cosine of 72 is equal to my adjacent, which is 11, over my hypotenuse, which is x. Whenever you have x on the bottom, what do you have to do? Yes, multiply both top and bottom by x. So I have x cosine of 72 is equal to 11. Now what do I got to do? Yes, divide by cosine of 72. This cancels. So you literally just put in 11 divided by the cosine of 72. So you have 35.5, so approximately 36. Here we have this angle. We have our hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle, so that's my hypotenuse. This one right here is my adjacent, because right across, straight across is always your opposite. So I have my adjacent and I have my hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So I have cosine of x is equal to adjacent, which is 0.9, over 2.3. Now I'm trying to get x, and what is x? X is a angle. So I'm trying to get rid of cosine, so I have to take the inverse. Cosine and inverse of both sides. This cancels out, so you get x. So in your calculator, you will go cosine of inverse of 0.9 divided by 2.3. And that gives you 66.9, so 67. And that is degrees. Oh, I'm sorry guys. Number 7's not degrees, it's an leg. So whatever this would be 11, so it could be feet, inches, it's 36. Sorry, not degrees. Number 9. So to avoid a steep descent, the airplane pilot wants to descend at an angle of depression of 8 degrees. So he's flying up in the air, and he wants to have an angle of depression of 8 degrees. So this one is equal to which angle? This one down here, the angle of elevation. And it says that he's cruising at an altitude of 42,000. So we have 42,000 over here. And they want to know how far should they start planning his descent. So they want to know when he should start coming down. However, you never look, it's never trying to find this. It wants to know from here to here. That's why I put ground distance. So we have this one. Alright, so we have opposite and adjacent. So opposite and adjacent, probably can't see them, way up here. Opposite and adjacent is tangent. So we have tan of 8 is equal to opposite 42,000 over x. Adjacent. What now do I have to do? Yes, multiply by x, both sides. So I have x tan 8 is equal to 42,000. Now what do I do? Yep, divide by tan 8. So x equals 42,000 divided by tan 8. So 298845 and almost 6. Alright, I'm not going to do all of these, but I will do a couple, and hopefully then you can do the rest. So, since it's 4545, what you have to do is you have to look at, remember your triangle. So it's 1, 1, and square root of 2. So this is t. T and t is our factor. So this is, it started with the right triangle, and then you had a scale factor to blow it up to this triangle. So we're trying to find out how much did it blow up. So we find the scale factor first. So the first thing you want to do is 7 is equal to 1t. So t is 7. That is your scale factor. So now you want to find out what this length is. Well, it used to be the square root of 2, but the scale factor is 7, so that means that x is going to be square root of 2 times your scale factor of t. T is 7, so we have x is equal to 7 square roots of 2. Yes.
Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, it's been a while.
What's my name? Come on now. Starts with an A, ends with an A, there's 2 N's in the middle.
Anna.
How are you?
Good, good.
Wow, you look good.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good.
So guess what?
Guess.
You never ever took Spanish again.
You didn't.
No.
If you want to wait on the, you can pause this or fast forward. I'm going to take a station of moment. I'm taping, but that's okay. That's not a problem. They won't care. They can fast forward it. But if I stop it, then it takes 2 breaks. So you're fine. Don't worry. They can either love my conversation, or they can listen, or they can move on. I tape for my students, like they have a quiz tomorrow. So if they need extra help, they can go online and watch it. So
why did we have that?
Yeah, why don't we have that kind of cool
because
Spanish, man.
I bought this with my own money. It's like crazy, but I've been trying to figure out what, because I remember how I had to write in overheads and all that. It's like, oh my gosh, blue fingers and all that. So
Yeah,
I
remember having like blue and red fingerprints on my papers.
and you remember having to get sent out in the hall and you had to sub. Oh, what have you been doing? What have you been doing?
Working.
Working.
I mean, after I left here, I moved out to Waterford and went and finished school out there and graduated and stuff. 3.6.
Good. Awesome.
Pretty good. Just never took Spanish ever again.
Never.
No.
Yeah, I teach
I
math
took
and
German.
I take math and Spanish this year. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What year math?
I do algebra 2, and that's what this is for. Is algebra 2.
Isn't that juniors?
Yeah, juniors.
Okay.
Mostly. There's some seniors. So if you're a senior watching, it's okay.
Alright, we'll let you go.
Nice seeing you. Good stopping in.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Yes. And life treating you good?
Yeah, it is.
Good.
I'm having fun.
How old are you now?
Huh?
How old are you now?
18.
18.
Yep.
So you
Kind of an adult now.
getting to be an adult.
Yep, I'm moving into my own place soon.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I have an apartment in Novi. It's really nice.
That's awesome.
Yep. Alright,
I'll see ya.
Bye.
All right. Well, if you're still with me, and if you ever graduate or when you graduate, come back and see me. I always love it. So, all right, here we go. Number 11, we have to look at what 10 is equal to. Since it's my hypotenuse of my 45, I come to my 45 and I do the hypotenuse. So this is 10 is equal to square root of 2 times some scale factor. We're trying to find out what was square root of 2 multiplied to get 10. So we divide by the square root of 2. I divide by the square root of 2. And now this is gone. So now I can't have the square root of 2 on the bottom. So I have to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 2. So I have 10 square root of 2 times, we have here square root of 2 times square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which equals 2. So 10 square roots of 2 equals 2. Reduce, we have 5 square roots of 2. Solving for x right here, x represents here, so x is just 1t, so this is also x. I'm going to do one more because my class is going to be starting soon, and hopefully this will get you on your way. So I will do, let's see, 30, 60, 90, we have 2. Let's see which one's trickier than others. I guess I'll do 14. Alright, 14. 30, 60 triangle. So we have across from that is 1, this is square root of 3, and this is 2. So we're looking at the adjacent to this, and so we're looking for the scale factor that was multiplied by. So 30 is equal to the square root of 3 times something. I'm trying to look for that something. So we have here the square root of 3 and divided out. So we have 30 is divided by the square root of 3. Multiply the top and bottom by the square root of 3. So we have 30 square roots of 3 over 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. So 30 divided by 3 is 10 square roots of 3. Look over here and see what x is. X is my hypotenuse, so it was 2. So this is the scale factor, so we have to multiply this by 2. So x is 2 times 10 square roots of 3. So x on 14 is 20 square roots of 3. Well, hopefully that helped, guys. Like I said, I have to teach class, so good luck, and I will see you guys tomorrow.